All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Degenerate YouTube channel. Steak and I, unfortunately, cannot do our scheduled board review this morning on Thursday, October 23rd. So we're up here nice and early, and we're going to go over the college football board together. No live chat today, which Steak might be a good thing because I would probably be getting fucking roasted about VJ Edgecombe. I heard he had a nice night. We're not going to talk NBA. All right, you can wait till Friday for that. But anyways. We're going to go over the board, and it's week 9. I think we should probably still just stick to Saturday. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and then tomorrow on board review, we talk about Friday night.
Yep, we will be. We'll be back Friday, and then we also are having the Degenerate Happy Hour tonight. This video should be uploaded around the same time that our board review would be, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're presented by Pickett Sports. Download Pickett, sync your sports books, track your wagers, use promo code DGen whenever you do. All right, Steak, let's get into it. Saturday, noon. Funny enough, like the noon slate has been awesome. I feel like the past few weeks, and then it's like kind of chill until 7. This noon slate, I'm just scrolling through it quickly. Not as much of a banger, but still some sneaky good games. So let's start with Northwestern, Nebraska. Nebraska is -7.5 at home. Total is 44. I'm going to get Pickett up as well. And it looks like the Nebraska Cornhuskers are 3-1 at home. Their only loss being to Michigan. They're 5-2, and they're coming off a pathetic fucking loss on the road against Minnesota. Now, I had Nebraska in that game. Did you have Nebraska in that game?
Sure did.
Okay. I heard, I believe on cover 3, or pardon my take, Nebraska hadn't won back-to-back road games in like almost 20 years.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're in a sad state of affairs, to be honest, for what they think they are versus what they've been for the last 20 years. Nebraska's in a sad place.
Okay, but Nebraska is in a sad place. Now, here's my question. I'm going to need you to tell me to not bet them because
that's the problem, because we love doing stuff like this. And Northwestern's won 4 games in a row. And honestly, it's 2 of the opposite type of teams, because if you recall, everyone took Purdue last week, and Northwestern skunked them 19-0, and then everyone took Nebraska, and they lost to Minnesota 24-6. So you got a team coming off burning the Sharps because they won, and then you got another team coming off burning the Sharps because they lost 24-6 to fucking Minnesota. And I see the spread I'm showing is 8.5, so it's obviously money's hitting Nebraska, which isn't really surprising. For some reason, people will still always find reasons to bet on Nebraska, but Northwestern, man, 4 wins in a row. When's the last time that's happened?
I could not tell you. Well, I don't know. Actually, I mean, they had what was their coach's name? Pat Fitzgerald.
Yep.
Yeah, they had some good times there. Oops, sorry. These are the splits. Pretty even, I guess, for the most part. Although, if you look at the bets here on Pickett, the betting percentage only 37%, 55% of the money on Nebraska. So if you guys go off of stuff like this, we like looking at the splits. Doesn't dictate our wager, but I would tell you that the bigger bets amounts are on Nebraska. We would, I guess, consider that being the Sharps like Nebraska. I'm with you, Steak. It's Nebraska or nothing. So it sounds like you're not going to talk me off of it.
No, it's Nebraska or nothing. That's exactly how I would put it.
Quickly, Virginia on the road against North Carolina. We talked about it last week. North Carolina being the grossest, most disgusting play on the board after the hot clip, the hot mic comes out on Pablo Torre's podcast. If you guys haven't seen it, you should, with Bill Belichick and Jordan, forget her last name, Hudson. That's right. Anyways, North Carolina's a team nobody wants. They went on the road against Cal. I think they were 9-point dogs. They almost won the game outright, 21-18. Now they're coming back. They're at home. They're playing Virginia. Virginia's 10.5. I said this last week, Steak. I'm going to say it again. I think that fucking line is short. And there's no real like letdown or look ahead situation for Virginia, which is interesting because they're coming off of a home win against Washington State. They were 15.5-point favorites. They only won 22-20. It got a little messy. And then next week
they were plus 250 to win that game at one point.
Oh shit! I didn't realize how scary it got for them.
Yeah.
Well, they go on the road to Cal next week. So again, it's like it's not a weird spot. Don't you think 10.5 is kind of short?
Nah, I don't know. I guess it would be how many people are comfortable laying 10.5 with Virginia on the road after that game with Washington State. And honestly, watching North Carolina be about as competitive as we've seen them be in 3 weeks, And also, like this has been a gauntlet for fucking Virginia. 2 overtime game against FSU. Then you go play at Louisville. You beat them in overtime. Now you play Washington State at home, and you don't get a break. It's 22-20, and you're battling back the whole game. And now you have to go at North Carolina. I see your point about it being short. I just don't know how many people I think would be comfortable laying that big of a number with Virginia on the road.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Total's 51.5. Kind of lean over.
Yeah, over's interesting.
Kind of lean over. I mean, 18 points from the Tar Heels last week, 22 from Virginia last week, 51.5 in a short spread. I don't know. North Carolina might be scoring in this game.
North Carolina doesn't go over that number with the exception of that game against TCU, which completely got out of hand. I think there was 2 scooping scores.
Here's a great one, actually. USF on the road against Memphis. No disrespect to this conference. What are you shaking your head about?
Memphis lost outright to UAB last week.
UAB fired coach system. We fucking asleep at the wheel. Trent Dilfer out. UAB wins as a 20.5 point underdog, and this was a fucking look ahead spot hosting USF. How do you not love Memphis now?
I love Memphis in general. That's why I was so sad they lost that game. I wanted to see them run the table. I thought I was so prepared to say this is easily the most underrated football team in America, and win against Arkansas looks a lot more impressive when you see that Arkansas literally was not too far off from beating Tennessee, not too far off from beating Texas A&M after the Notre Dame drubbing, and I was excited for this to be a different game, but now it's Memphis coming off a horrible loss. Like that's one of the worst losses of the season, all things considered, with the exception of a few Clemson and Penn State losses. But yeah, I'm going to go with Memphis, and it's not even because I'm trying to be sharp catching a team off a bad loss. It's because I don't think that's the real Memphis team that played UAB last week. I get new coach. I don't know. It's wacky. I watched a little bit of it. You're at UAB, just wacky game. Everything went wrong for Memphis. And then you got South Florida coming off a win against North Texas. Everybody watched. It was Friday night. Everyone was excited because the over was damn near 70. And 2 really good teams. And then they don't have any sort of letdown against FAU, 48-13. So yeah, give me Memphis here. That's going to be added to my card.
And look at these splits.
Not surprised.
Only 48,000. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, USF deserves all that love from gamblers. They do.
Yeah. A lot of bets and money on the under, which is really interesting. You don't think under when you think of this game.
Well, USF has scored 63, 54, 63, and 48. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it sure is. Okay. Let's keep moving now in the noon slate here. Georgia Tech at home against Syracuse. Georgia Tech stays rolling 7-0 on the year. 17 look a little short. I don't want to get involved. How about you?
I think Syracuse is a dead program. It really sucks what happened to Stephen Jelly, but
yeah,
the backup quarterback cannot get it done. He really can't even make him competitive, unfortunately, and I would not be betting Syracuse games one way or another for the rest of the year.
I'd be so sad if I had a Syracuse overwin total wager.
The coach is awesome, man.
Yeah, Fran Brown's cool. Kansas State on the road in Kansas.
Yeah,
the total in this one, 56.5. Kansas is favored by 3 points. Let's take a look here on the splits. You get 2.5 minus 116 on Profit X. Total 53.5. The over is going to be popular here. Yep, makes a lot of sense. 90% of the bets, 93% of the money. Looks like more love on Kansas State, which I find a little interesting. What the thing you probably want to focus on here is Kansas State, right? We talked about it. After that bye week, were you going to see a different Kansas State team? And the answer so far is yes.
Yeah.
They beat and covered UCF. They lost, but they played their ass off at Baylor, covered that game. And they beat a very good TCU team and covered as well. So 2-1, but 3-0 ATS out of that bye. They get another bye. Now they go play Kansas. And what has Kansas been doing? Let's take a look.
Just got drubbed at Texas Tech.
Yeah, Kansas just got drubbed. Back-to-back road games. They've lost 2 of their last 3. Steak, I don't know, man. You might talk me out of this, and that's fine, because I guess maybe is getting a couple points with Kansas State a little bit of a duping.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay, because I lean Kansas State.
Yeah, I like the under more than either total.
Yeah, that feels like the right play for us. 56.5 feels like the right play. Okay.
You got Kansas State coming off being involved in 2 69-point games. You got Kansas coming off just allowing 42 to Texas Tech, which isn't surprising. Texas Tech's awesome. Last time we all watched Kansas, it was 71 in that Cincinnati game. So I like a game where two teams know that their key to success isn't necessarily outscoring each other. It's trying to stop the other offense. And so I do like the under.
Okay, well said. All right, good game up here that we're going to talk about next. Ole Miss at Oklahoma, noon game. We are Ole Miss investors. They go down. They lose to Georgia. Georgia was 7.5, I believe. They just covered that number. Nice job. You took them. I was bitching at you. And but you got to like what you saw from Ole Miss for the most part until the end of that game. They just ran out of gas. But I think they scored on their first 5 drives. Yeah. Georgia defense ended up playing well in the fourth quarter. Chambliss stalled a bit, but their defense was a little concerning to watch. Ole Miss's defense, how they let Gunnar Stockton and Georgia kind of bully him late in that game. Steak, you and I are not believers in Oklahoma overall. I, however, have been converted to a John Mateer guy, but you say you're not sold on John Mateer. Now, we faded him last week. It was not successful. We took South Carolina. Was that more about South Carolina sucking? Or Oklahoma still being a pretty solid team because they win the game 26-7. It was close. It was a 1-possession game for the majority, at least from what I was following. Oklahoma has a gauntlet of a schedule coming up. After this, they go to Tennessee, they go to Alabama, then they got Missouri, then they end with LSU. This spread looks fat. PHAT, fat. Yeah. 5.5 Oklahoma, total 54.5. I'm fucking terrified for our Ole Miss Rebels. Are you?
Yeah, I am. Oklahoma's really good defensively. I guess my question would be, why is it not okay for me to just call John Mateer what he is? He's a game manager, and he's not the focal point of the team. And that's why I was surprised that he would be in Heisman consideration ever. I don't know when he's going to get to double-digit touchdown passes, but it won't be this week. It might be next week, so we'll be at week fucking 10 before this guy throws 10 touchdown passes. Last week, he had 150 yards. They ran the ball 40 times, and they gave up 7 points. I'm like, why can't I just call John Mateer what he is? He's not up there with Fernando Mendoza. He's not up there with Ty Simpson. I don't think he's up there with Carson Beck, if I'm being completely honest. I know Carson Beck had a stinky game against Louisville, but before that, he was absolutely balling. But yeah, the Oklahoma defense is a real fucking problem for Ole Miss. Ole Miss was awesome offensively in that game against Georgia. But, dude, we saw Tennessee score 41 against Georgia. This might just not be your old Monpause Georgia defense that we're used to. But Gunnar Stockton is a hooper. I mean, that's 2 shootouts he's got himself in with guys, in situations where you're like, oh, well, Gunnar Stockton's not going to win a 40-point shootout. And sure enough, Gunnar Stockton never stopped scoring the football. But in this one, you pick your side. It's literally, do you trust Oklahoma's defense or do you trust Trinidad Chambliss more? I thought it was interesting how they announced that Austin Simmons is officially healthy. He's not going to play, obviously, but it's funny. I wonder if that provides any distraction. He was the guy, man. People were excited about this guy here, and he wasn't actually terrible. Just Trinidad Chambliss came in when he was hurt and absolutely balled out. And now you can't bench him. Like, he's really good, man.
Yeah, he is.
You pick your side. I'm not going to just blindly try to fade Oklahoma every week. That's stupid.
Fair. Well, these are the splits. This would make sense. And again, just for anybody watching, the public, right? The average bettor, we don't necessarily think is wagering on these games midweek, right? They probably are getting their action in late. So you said this, and I think you're kind of right. We like the picket splits, and we respect where the bets and the money are for the most part. Yeah. And the picket sharps so far like Ole Miss. But again, you like to point out 20%, 28% of the bets, but 38% of the money on Oklahoma. So there are some bigger bets on Oklahoma, which I find interesting. And it does look like that line has moved. I think it was 4.5. It's up to 5.5. So
that's not surprising to me.
Yeah. Something to pay a little bit of attention to. Okay. Steak, Indiana at home, 25 against UCLA. You might be wondering, why are we talking about this game? It's a huge spread. It's not really worth it. Well, I faded Indiana last week, and let me tell you, there was some fucking shenanigans going on late in that game. It was a 27.5-point spread. Michigan State was down 25. Indiana was running the clock out, essentially. They got to the 2-minute warning. It was 4th and 1 on like the Michigan State 20-yard line. All they had to do was get a first down. The game was over. They line up to go for it. Michigan State calls a timeout. Then they go on there and they kick the field goal. And you could tell Cignetti was kind of pissed, but he was like, fuck it. It was almost like the two coaches were like fucking with each other. So Cignetti kicks the field goal, plays for the cover, goes up 28. Michigan State has their backup quarterback in. They go all the way down the field. They get stopped on 4th down. They kick a field goal to lose the game by 25. Very fishy, but it felt like a fuck you back to Michigan State, from Michigan State to Indiana. Like, you're not getting the cover on us. It was very, very interesting to watch. I loved it as a Michigan State bettor. Why I'm telling you this story is because now this feels like the game where Cignetti gets the cover. And it also, I have to point out, feels absolutely absurd that Indiana would be 27.5-point favorites against Michigan State, and now they're 25-point favorites against UCLA, who's on fucking fire the last 3 weeks. There might not be a hotter team in college football. Outright win against Penn State, outright win against Michigan State, in a win, no cover, against Maryland. Pretty good Maryland team who you respected all season.
Great win.
How is this not Indiana in an absolute smash spot?
I think this is Indiana's what's the word, like, introduction into the being the big dogs. This is a big dog spread. This is like an Ohio State spread. 25.5 against UCLA. Off these wins, Penn State, Michigan State by 25. Or sorry, Michigan, 25. And Maryland, like, they got these fucking new Heisel clips everywhere. He's not even the coach. That's what I think is so funny when they show him in the locker room giving the speeches. It's like, bro, this guy's not the coach. And UCLA looks amazing. And I was shocked to see the spread. I was like, okay, we'll get like, if Michigan State's 25 and UCLA with the way they're playing, they'll be like 19.5. I saw this. I was like, holy shit, that's a large spread. And then what else did we learn? Cignetti wants to cover these spreads, man. So I think you can take Indiana and feel pretty good about it that Coach Cignetti is going to try to get you your money.
Yep. I agree. All right. Rutgers on the road against Purdue, -2.5, total 59. Purdue just got shut out against Northwestern. And I saw a lot of people taking Purdue, and I'm not shitting on anyone. No. I can't find the right side of the sharp spots either, but I found that a little bit interesting because even though Purdue is a better Purdue team this year than they have been in the past, I don't know that I necessarily love them outside of West Lafayette, if that makes sense. They're 0-3 on the road, and they are 0-2-1 ATS. But at home, a little bit different. They did not cover. We took them against Illinois. They lost 43-27, but they put up 27 against USC. They didn't win, but they covered 20.5 against USC, 33-17. Stake. Now they're at home against Rutgers, a decent Rutgers team, even though they just got their ass kicked to Oregon. You kind of knew that was coming. But before that, Rutgers, they've lost 4 straight, but they played these teams fairly tough. Iowa, 38-28. It was a close game for the majority of it. At Minnesota, 31-28. Played them tough, covered the spread. At Washington, kind of banged in that first half. Then Washington woke up and pulled away. They had nothing against Oregon. Dare I say the Rutgers ship is sinking, and this 2.5-point spread on the road against Purdue is telling. Agree or disagree?
I'm having trouble with the side, but I think this is one of the first times ever where Rutgers plays Purdue, and you could say that the offenses are genuinely the better parts of both of these teams. And I feel like that's sort of telling with the total damn near in the 60s. Not that it's weird. I don't think the total is weird when you look at what they've done this year, but I think it tells you that these offenses are much better than these defenses. Purdue's defense stinks. So does Rutgers. And I know Purdue had a 0-point output against Northwestern. But before that, they were scoring on just about everyone to some degree. 30 against Notre Dame looks more impressive by the week when you see how Notre Dame's defense has been playing since that game. My only look here would be over 58.5. I can't get anywhere with the side. I think it might be 2 sinking ships, if we're being honest.
That's a good point. 2 sinking ships equals an over. That's kind of what we're getting at. Okay, last noon game. Let's just talk about it quickly. SMU -3 on the road against Wake Forest. What do you think about this Wake Forest team, Stake? They're 5-2. SMU's 5-2. Any thoughts here? 54.5 total.
So Wake Forest is probably done with Robbie Ashford, right? It's that kid Deshaun Purdy, the one who started against Oregon State, I'm assuming.
Probably.
And he absolutely balled out. I'm done fading Wake Forest. They have ruined my year. Can't believe they're 4-2. I really cannot believe that. SMU coming off that win against Clemson. If anything, I think the line looks short, but there's just no shot I play this game, like 0% chance.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about a good one here. 12:45 p.m. Auburn on the road against Arkansas. Auburn, bit of a sinking ship here. It's kind of tough because they've had 4 losses in a row, but they've been close losses, much closer than what I was just referring to with Purdue. At Oklahoma, at Texas A&M, lost both games by 1 possession. Lost to Georgia 20-10, kind of got fucked by the refs there. And then Missouri, they lost last week in overtime 23-17.
I had them brutal.
Oh, you had them in that game?
Should have won, yeah.
Ah, that's right. They should have won. And you're
a sinking ship. You got to be losing hope if you're at Auburn, and Jackson Arnold fucking stinks.
Now, the question I have is, if you're Arkansas, you got to be feeling pretty good after the bye week, even though you lost both your games against Tennessee and Texas A&M. Since you fired Sam Pittman, 34-31, 45-42, a hell of a lot better than 56-13 against Notre Dame, which was the last game. So now, looking at this one, Steak, you got Arkansas favored. Let me check Pickett real quick just to confirm that. Arkansas's favored, and the total in this one, you'd have to imagine people would think is going to be pretty high scoring, is 55 or 56.
Yeah, but Auburn can't score the football.
Auburn
can't have a really good defense.
It is okay. I think Arkansas looks easy.
I think Arkansas looks cute. I think anytime Arkansas is favored in a football game against anybody in the SEC for the most part, it looks cute. And I think Arkansas is your get cute spot of the week. I do not think Arkansas is a team you bet on as a favorite. I think they're a fun underdog team to bet on, as they've proved the last 2 weeks. They could have beat Texas A&M. They hung in there with Tennessee. Everybody loves crank and hog when they're underdogs, but as a favorite, I will pass.
Okay. Yeah. According to Wager Talk, this opened a pick'em. It's up to 1.5 with 90% of the money on Arkansas. That would make sense.
I don't think they're going to be hammering Arkansas.
Okay. Quickly, we're moving on to the 3:00 slate now. Sorry, Akron and Buffalo. We're going to pass on that. UConn's on the road against Rice. They're 10.5 point favorites. Kind of feel like this is a spot to fade UConn.
I'm done fading UConn, and Rice stinks.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to talk about with New Mexico, Utah State? New Mexico's 3-point favorites. No. Utah State's 0-3 on the road. Okay. A couple games we're gonna pass. Sorry, Crutch, if you're listening. It's a little sad to not do this with a live chat, but also it's still better to do it than not do it at all. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the page, like the video. We appreciate that. Leave a comment too. Actually, you're going to be watching on YouTube because it's only going on YouTube. Fuckers. Anyways, I'll have to let the Twitch people know somehow. Alabama on the road against South Carolina. I hate that I keep doing this. I know this has got to be annoying, but I'm gonna tell you how I feel. 11.5. The Crimson Tide are laying on the road. I think that's short.
It's short as fuck. It is absurdly short, and the total's 47.5. So,
oh my god,
that's low. And I know South Carolina cannot score the ball, and they just played a 26-7 game with Oklahoma, but this line is short, man, off that stinker. I don't think I should be putting any more of my hard-earned money on South Carolina or Lenora Sellers, to be completely honest.
I know.
Man, oh man, this line is short. And I don't care if it's a road game. I just don't even think – I think South Carolina has given up. And then I love Shane Beamer. I really do. I think he's a good coach. And I watched the interview last week, and they said, are you going to make any changes? But he just fired a coordinator. I forget if it was defense or offensive, and he was snippy. He was like, we just made a change, Bob, or whatever the fucking guy's name is. And it's like, bro, you just lost 26-7. Like, sorry that you have to answer more questions, but you do. Mm-hmm. You just lost 26-7 in games that people thought you were going to be really competitive in, and you've lost 4 games already. And people had you as a dark horse, not even dark horse playoff team. They were a win away from the playoff last year, and they're returning a lot of guys. They lost a lot of guys too, but they're returning a lot of star players. Lenora Sellers still has the second best odds to be the number 1 overall pick, and he was considered to be a very high on the Heisman board. So it's just such a disappointing season. And I hate when a coach acts like he doesn't have to answer questions about that. You know
yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no reason to bet South Carolina whatsoever, which is another reason why I think it's absurd that this is under two touchdowns. Absurd.
Sometimes in the week when we look at the line, we look at a game, we think it's short. It makes me want to bet the other side, makes me want to be a little contrarian. Then the game starts. The team I bet on is getting their ass kicked, and I realize that Vegas just made a mistake. They made a mistake.
Sure. I don't think that's what's going to be here. I really genuinely believe, and I hope you think about me and DGen when this happens. I believe for no reason whatsoever, this game is going to be tied in the fourth quarter. I really believe that, genuinely. That will be like 17-17 in the fourth quarter, and Alabama will have the ball with 9 or 10 minutes left.
Well, I got to give it to you. You nailed it with Texas, Kentucky. Okay. I thought, Texas is going to get right. Now they go to Kentucky. Kentucky sucks. You were like, this is weird as fuck. Why would Kentucky get up for this game? It was 10-10.
Yeah,
I think it went overtime.
God, Arch Manning's so frustrating.
I know. Let's not talk about talk about that. But real quick, something to point out: Alabama on the road, not as good as they are at home. 3 road games this year. Lost FSU 31-17. At Georgia, won 24-21. At Missouri, 27-24. What do you notice about all 3 of those scores that I just said to you?
They didn't score 30.
Yep. 17, 24, 27.
Missouri at Doak those are brutal road games.
Yeah, but maybe that's the reason, if you're making a spread for this game, maybe it's Alabama is a different team on the road. So that's all I can think of.
Their only good opponents have been on the road. I can't do too much of that because I think Georgia and Missouri are amazing wins.
Oh, definitely. And
they were up 10 against Missouri, and Missouri scored the late touchdown to make a game of it, but they won that game pretty handily.
Okay. Let's go to Minnesota at Iowa, 3:30. I was not 9.5 point favorites. They're 5-2 on the year. Minnesota is 5-2 on the year as well, but they're 0-2 on the road. They have lost to Ohio State and Cal. Ohio State, obviously, that's a fine loss. Ohio State looks like they're clearly the best team in the country. On the road against Cal is not a good one, though.
No.
They were 3-point favorites in that game. They lost 27-14. Iowa's coming off a win against Penn State. They won, but they didn't cover. The spread's 9.5 stake, total 39. Is this a good old-fashioned Iowa game where it's low scoring, it's ugly, and they just win by margin and it stays under? What do you think?
Tell me that you could see just a normal guy, normal college football, casual fan. He watches college football. He knows college football. He's not a professional gambler. He's not an expert. He's not like listening to podcasts and doing research all week. He just watches college football. Imagine him logging into his sports book and taking Iowa minus 9.5 against literally anyone.
I can't imagine that. No.
Nobody would do that. Nobody would bet Iowa with this large of a spread.
Yeah, I mean it's a conference game. They were okay, so they were 3.5 against Penn State with no Drew Aller. And what a huge adjustment that is, by the way, for Penn State. I mean, my God. But Iowa laying 9.5 or 8.5, depending on where you look. It's just absurd to me. And
I'll give you my prediction.
Okay, tell me.
I think there's a chance Minnesota doesn't score in this game.
You think Minnesota doesn't score in this game? And Minnesota is coming off of that big win outright as a big dog against Nebraska. So so this is an interesting situation, right? There's got to be some data behind this. An outright dog coming off a win, or a dog coming off an outright win against a favorite who didn't cover,
In conference.
There's got to be some data that shows the favorite in this situation covers. And looking at the picket splits, you are correct because there's more bets and money on Minnesota here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I like Iowa.
Me too.
Okay, we'll move on. A couple of good games in the afternoon. Here we go. The schedule makers for college football doing us a little bit more of a favor here, spreading it out, not front loading it on noon. Iowa State against BYU. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Well, this is like your Cleveland Browns, or Iowa State's been in a position exactly like this, where they were the BYU of this game, and Cincinnati was the Iowa State. Iowa State was the ranked team. Cincinnati was unranked. They were favored, and now all of a sudden it flops, and I know everyone's going to bet Iowa State. And I'm just going to tell you, man, I don't want to sound like you with the Browns on Sunday, BYU has truly been a nightmare to try and fade, not just this season, but last season as well. Whether it was Bear Bachmeier or Jake Retzlaff, this team has a horseshoe up their ass. The ways they find to win games against Utah, Arizona, I do not care. They keep winning. And I genuinely think everybody will bet Iowa State. Now, let me clarify. Does not mean I don't think Iowa State is the right side or will hit, because I'm not betting like that anymore. But I just want to say Iowa State will be so fucking popular by kickoff, you won't be able to believe it. It's going to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, and if people don't know, just to give context for that comparison for the Cleveland Browns, when the Browns were playing the Dolphins last week, everybody was on Cleveland, and it made me uncomfortable. And Cleveland won 31-6. So that's what you're saying is this Iowa State team could be the Cleveland Browns of the week. They're 2.5-point favorites. Everybody's going to be on them, and they could still potentially win and cover.
And you lost to Colorado. That was last week, right?
They had a bye. But they're coming off of 2 losses. They started the season 5-0. They lost Cincinnati. They lost to Colorado. And I had them against Colorado. They were short favorites. Oh no, I'm sorry. They were 1-point dogs against Cincinnati. That was you nailed Cincinnati from the start there. I actually didn't even want it in the newsletter because that line was a little suspicious. But yeah, it's not going to be fun fading BYU. They're 7-0. They're 5-2 ATS, but it does feel like the play has to be Iowa State there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another game here. Washington at home against Illinois. Total is 54. Steak, you're an Illinois guy. I would say for the most part, they're playing pretty well. You know, they look like a good team. They're not totally taking a shit or having a bad season just because they're 5-2. Washington is also 5-2. Now, this is a team that has some components of being exciting. But when they step up in class, that has to be the question, because so far they've played Ohio State, they played Michigan, and they've scored a combined 13 points. But against the other teams, the Rutgers, the Marylands, Washington States, they look completely different. I think that Illinois is maybe somewhere in between, right? I mean, they had an 8.5 win total. They're not quite Michigan, but they're not far off from Michigan. And Washington is favored by 4.
They're far off from playing at the big house. That's the difference. Is playing Illinois at home is far off from playing at the big house. I don't think Michigan's all that good, but it's a big deal to go there and play Michigan. As you can see, that moment was way too big for this Washington team. But your take on Illinois, pretty accurate. I mean, their 2 losses are getting absolutely drubbed by Indiana and not being competitive with Ohio State, but they beat USC, they beat Purdue. Like, those are good wins. They beat Duke. That's a solid win. I think what we've learned this year is that Washington gets respected. They were -6.5 at Maryland. They were only +8 against Ohio State. I don't remember the Michigan line, but it was like 4.
5.5. Michigan was 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5 at Michigan. So yeah, I don't know. But Washington is, in my opinion, really hard to figure out. And I do think a touch overvalued by Vegas. I obviously have Illinois over 8.5 wins. So this is a massive game for me because I don't think I can afford 2 more losses. I don't know what the schedule looks like. Luckily, they got Indiana and in Ohio State out of the way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll be betting this game.
Okay. It's a lot of respect. I can't figure it out because, you know, Duke was respected, I think, by the odds makers, and Illinois goes on the road and they were favored by 2.5 or 3.
Sure.
To be underdogs is a little crazy to Washington. So that could be very, very telling. The total's 54. I also expected that to be a little higher because Illinois can score points, and Washington can too at home. But anyways, all right, we'll keep moving. Not a strong read from there. All right, I got to get your thoughts on this. This is a big one. 3:30, Missouri and Vanderbilt. Steak, you're gonna hate what I have to say. You're gonna hate it. I
bet I won't because I just want you to have something because I have such a hard time figuring out Vanderbilt.
Another Browns comparison in a way. Vanderbilt last week against LSU. Everybody was on Vanderbilt. Everybody. You saw Dave Portnoy. You saw College Game Day. I mean, everybody was on Vanderbilt, and I didn't fade it. I didn't bet Missouri. I didn't try or LSU. I didn't try to get cute, and my eyeballs knew better because LSU is shit. Unfortunately, I overreacted after the Clemson.
We actually nailed it. We said we knew the wheels would come off for LSU, so you would just pick win. It's not surprising they lost.
I can't take a credit for that. I bet LSU to win the national championship after the
we were just talking about last week.
Oh yeah. Nussmeier is so fucking not that guy. And this the LSU offense is brutal. And Vanderbilt, be it first time they're a favorite against a top team, and they come out with a win, and they do it in Vanderbilt style. Diego Pavia is a fucking dog. They scored 31 points. They were moving the chains. They were relentless. Now they're at home and they're playing Missouri, and they're the same spread, 2.5. I find that to be a little interesting. Now I know Missouri is 6-1. They've only played one road game, which was last week against Auburn, and they almost lost the game. I thought this was a little short.
Do you remember the total in the LSU Vanderbilt game by any chance? I could look.
I think it was 47.5, and I think the under was pretty popular because LSU does have a good defense. Yeah. This total is 51.5. What's that?
Missouri has a good defense as well.
Missouri has a good defense, and they got Bo Prabula.
Yep.
And they have is it Ahmad Hardy?
Yep, he's an absolute baller.
I got to tell you, I think this is a Missouri game. I do.
Me too.
You agree?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me not to fade Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean, I would that's probably what a smart friend would say or a good friend. But I told you that last week going into the whatever game. I was like, yeah, it's plus 240 after Alabama. I said I still like Missouri to make a run at the playoff. Well, they have to win this game. So in order to stand on business, Missouri has to win this game. And yeah, I'll take Missouri with you. I think this is all
right.
Yeah.
Missouri's going to regret it.
I am a Missouri respecter.
I am too. And I respect Vanderbilt, but I like what I've seen from Missouri. And that was a big win. And I like that they got that road test, under their belt. I think this is a good spot for them to muck it up. All right. Couple of quick games here. San Diego State.
Sorry, I just think they've been nonstop partying, dude. They beat fucking LSU at Vanderbilt, and then immediately, like 24 hours later, they announced they get game day. It's just, I just think it could be a letdown.
Wait, they're getting game day again?
This is game day, right? Vanderbilt.
They just had game day.
Am I getting confused?
I think.
Are you sure they had game day? I thought this was game day.
Oh, this is game day?
That's what I think.
Oh, you might be right.
Hold on. Jelly Roll was the picker. Georgia Ole Miss had to be game day.
Right? Oh, you're right. Jelly Roll was the picker. Okay. Let's keep moving real quick. San Diego State 3 at Fresno, Miami of Ohio, Western Michigan, Navy, FAU, Tulsa Temple. I don't think we have anything in those games.
I got one weird one for you because I'm pretty good at calling these spots.
Okay.
So Toledo, pretty good Toledo team. Pretty good quarterback, Tucker Gleason. They play Washington State. And I don't know if you remember, but after Troy was competitive with Clemson, I told you, hey, Troy's about to put up a stinker against Memphis. It's just they had everything they had into that Clemson game. At one point, they were favored to beat Clemson. And this is before we realized Clemson sucked. So we're like, wow, this would be one of the biggest upsets in college football history if Troy beat Clemson. It's like Appalachian State, Michigan State. Well, Washington State has just played Ole Miss to the wire. Ole Miss needed a last-minute drive to win that game. And then they played Virginia. And like I told you, at one point, they were like minus 350 to beat Virginia, who's ranked and very good. So Washington's coming off 2 competitive games that they could have won each of against 2 really good teams. Now they go home to play Toledo. I don't think Washington State has anything left for Toledo. I don't think that they're going to have the same intensity in this game as they did against Ole Miss or Virginia. And I really like Toledo on the road in this spot.
All right. I fucking dig it. I absolutely dig it. That's at 3:30 as well. Okay. Good shit. Let me get back to where we were. Okay. NC State and Pitt, Steak. I'm not getting involved with this game at all. Pitt 6.5 though, and I feel like that's a little short.
Short? Have you watched this fucking true freshman dude?
On Pitt?
Yeah.
I watched him against fucking FSU.
I'm telling you, he looks like the real deal.
Okay, but hold on. Pitt was 6.5 against Boston College.
I know. I'm telling you, you said short. I think it's respectful.
To Pitt?
Yeah, that line's respectful to Pitt for sure.
I think it's short. It's respecting NC State.
Why? NC State's way better than Boston College.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm thinking about this the wrong way.
They've been bad lately. I'm telling you, man. I'm not crazy. The Pitt quarterback might be the next big thing.
NC State is 1-3 in their last 4 games. They lost to fucking Virginia Tech. They got killed by Duke, and they got killed by Notre Dame.
Yeah, they've been bad, but they are better than Boston College. Don't look what Boston College has been doing if you want to compare.
No, you're right. I know what they did. I just bet them against fucking UConn. Okay, so you think it's Pitt, total 56.
I just like the quarterback, dude.
You just like the quarterback.
I'm going to slope him like Drake May. I think this fucking guy is going to be a household name sooner than later.
Wow. Jesus. Okay. Let's keep moving. 4:00. Baylor at Cincinnati. What a good game. Baylor's 4-3 right now, 1-6 ATS. Cincinnati on the flip side, 6-1, 5-2 ATS. Good game. I don't know that I really want to get involved, but if I were to get involved, I'd probably lean Baylor here. Total is high in this one, as expected. You're saying no.
Fuck Baylor. Fuck Baylor. Who's that coach that everyone was so excited about? What's his name?
Dave Aranda?
Is that him?
Well, he's the coach at Baylor.
Horrible coaching job this is. This is horrible, man. I can't believe you have a fucking quarterback that's thrown for 2,400 yards and 21 touchdowns, and a running back who's at almost 100 yards a game, and you can't figure out how to not be 4-3 because your defense is a fucking doormat. This defense is so bad, it literally convinced us that Jackson Arnold had Heisman aspirations. And look at every Jackson Arnold game since then. This defense is fucking horrendous. And I think if I had to give out an award for the worst coaching job of the year, it goes to Baylor's head coach for being 4-3 with this much talent on offense. It's disgusting. And honestly, Cincinnati, man, no respect. They get no respect still. No one respects Cincinnati. They're the real deal. Sorsby is fucking awesome. And there's no way I would fade Cincinnati with Baylor here. There's no fucking shot.
Okay. Cincinnati has their best win is Iowa State.
Good win.
At home, 38-30. They also beat Kansas on the road, 37-34. After that, they played 2 pretty weak opponents, UCF and Oklahoma State. Baylor played TCU 42-36, beat Kansas State, played Arizona State tight, 27-24. Probably should have won that game. Overtime, SMU got killed to Auburn. I almost just think that spread is a little disrespectful to Baylor. I think they can cover the number.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to trust my eyeballs. There's one team that I think is
fair. Yeah. Fair. I love trusting the eyeballs. All right. Texas on the road against Mississippi State. Your Mississippi State Bulldogs. 4-3, 3-1 at home, 4-0 ATS at home. And Texas is on the road again after sucking it up against Kentucky. Now they're on the road against Mississippi State, laying 7. I was probably a week early on my fucking Texas team total bet, but you know what? I don't give a shit. I am breaking. I'm not bending. I'm breaking. I'm so sick of Arch Manning. I'm sick of Sarkisian. I don't like this team. I don't like anything about Texas. Fuck them. I hope Mississippi State wins outright, but they probably will get killed.
Man, did you see how the Mississippi State Florida game ended last week?
No, I didn't.
So obviously I'm a Gators fan. It's not that I expected anyone to be watching this, but also I figured, okay, well, if Billy loses this game, he's for sure out, even though he got fired anyway. So they were up by 10 points or something like that. Mississippi State scored, went for 2 to go down 2. There was 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, and Billy Napier on 3rd and 1 did a play action, and Lagway threw an incomplete. Then Mississippi State got the ball back down 2, drove all the way down the field. They're already in field goal range, and Blake Shapen throws an interception to a defensive lineman who drops back in coverage in field goal range. Heartbreaking loss if you're Mississippi State. They're already doing the showing the kicker on the sideline, warming up like everyone thought a kick except was coming. I don't even know why they were passing, but to a big fat defensive lineman in coverage was crazy. It was the most Billy Napier coach game you've ever seen. I don't know what Mississippi State has left, except I really like Jeff Lebby. 45.5 is really low. You're not taking Texas team total. I can tell you that right now. This game could be 13-10. It legit could be 13-10, and I won't be surprised. But yeah, I just had to vent a little bit about Billy Napier. I don't even know what I was really going for with this game, but Texas sucks.
I thought last week's game could have been Texas 31-13. This is probably going to be the game.
Yeah. It is. I don't know how. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay. All right. Well, Mississippi State, nothing left in the tank. That could be why.
Yeah. Yeah. They're back home,
Devastating
though.
loss.
They're back home. That's the reason I don't want to do that.
Okay. All right. Fine.
If it was at Texas, I think I could back it up more.
TCU 15 on the road against West Virginia. I don't really have anything there.
We're getting to the point where it's almost impossible to cap a West Virginia game.
Yep. Troy, Louisiana, Lafayette, Arkansas State, Georgia Southern. Anything there?
No.
Okay. Oregon, Wisconsin. Oregon 31.5 against Wisconsin. Wisconsin's terrible. There's just
hard pass ever. I'm not even gonna watch this game. I won't turn it on. If it's on the TV, I'll change it fucking quick. I refuse to watch Wisconsin.
It's actually very upsetting what Luke Fickell did to that program.
I want more people to talk about how embarrassing it is.
I'll do it.
We're in our 30s, so I think it's fair to mention Wisconsin was like this awesome school. You could guarantee to win 10 games, have one of the best running backs in the country, have one of the best defenses in the country, and compete in games with Ohio State and Michigan. And now they're a fucking absolute joke. Like they are a fucking joke. It should be impossible to be this bad if you're Wisconsin. Like it should be impossible.
Okay. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We are into the night slate. Miami, 30-point favorites at home against Stanford. Dude, the total is 45. I got to tell you right now. You got to look on your face.
Yeah. Miami's skull fucking these dudes.
Okay. I want to get involved.
Yeah, you should. Stanford just beat FSU outright.
Yep. That's all they need. Like Stanford, I think they had a 3.5 win total, and I thought that wasn't going to happen after they lost to Hawaii. 3-4. They're going from Stanford to Miami. It's about as far as you can go, travel wise in the U.S. from Palo Alto to Miami. Miami also just coming off a loss. Bad loss. Bad loss. Carson Beck already getting slandered. Like he played a really bad game. I'm not out on Carson Beck.
Nah, they couldn't wait to slander Carson Beck. He's one of those guys you can't wait. It's like you're fucking about to explode because he's played good all year and you can't stand it. So the second you get your opportunity, but you know what Miami officially needs now? Style points. The whole team needs style points. They need a big win. Carson Beck needs a big game, and this is the perfect spot to do it.
I think I like Miami first half. Could be like a 21-0 or something like that. Yeah. This defense is not going to allow Stanford to score. That's what I think. Yeah, could be a shutout play. Yeah. Louisville 25 at home against BC. Love Jeff Brom in Louisville. Hope they don't have a letdown spot. Should roll there. Not going to get involved. Michigan's 14.5 on the road against Michigan State. Total 48.5. Any thoughts on that?
Nope.
Big number. That's a big number for Michigan, dude.
Michigan State stinks.
Yeah, that's a fucking big number. That's all I'm going to say about that. Texas A&M on the road against LSU at night, 7:30. After getting away with a win in Arkansas, it wasn't pretty, but they did it. Marcel Reed tore up that Arkansas defense. You're going to play a lot better defense now. LSU has got to win a game. They have to win a big game. Can't beat Clemson. Can't beat Florida. Can't be Florida, not beat. Can't be Florida. Can't be Clemson. It's got to be Texas A&M. Has to be. This is make or break for LSU season, dude. They're 6-2. They're 4-0 at home. But man, Aggies laying points in Death Valley. It's Texas A&M.
I like Texas A&M. I don't know. I think LSU is cooked, and I think this is another really get cute spot, man. I think people are going to get cute with the LSU Tigers here at home at a plus price. I don't care how they've looked. And then Texas A&M coming off that almost loss to Arkansas. God, I think I will be pressing Texas A&M, dude. I don't care.
Okay.
LSU looks. I think Texas A&M will be my stand-on business play. I do not think Garrett Nussmeier is going to get in a shootout with this Texas A&M team at all. I really don't. I think Texas A&M could win this one big.
Wow. Okay. Nussmeier is so not that guy.
He's so
not that fucking guy.
Your offense is not good.
No. And Brian Kelly, listen, I respected him as a coach, scumbag human being, but he might not be that guy. He might not be that guy.
Better coach than human being, though.
Yeah, for sure. Tennessee on the road against Kentucky, 8.5, 9, total 53.5. Kentucky just played Texas pretty close. And they were 12-point dogs in this one. Tennessee under 10. What do you think? Upset potential or no?
Yeah, it's for no reason at all. It's giving me sleepy Tennessee game vibes.
Yeah. I agree. Kind of like Kentucky there. Arizona State at home against Houston. Arizona State laying 7. Awful for our Arizona State underwin total. Them beating Texas Tech last week. But Steak, I think Houston might be a little live here.
I don't hate it.
They're 6-1. They're 5-2 ATS. I'm not saying it's even a weird number or anything. I just kind of like Houston to be scrappy.
It's 46.5 seem kind of
low.
Does, right? A little bit.
Yeah. Makes me like the dog.
Game with a 46.5 total is crazy.
I know. Okay, and then last game, then we'll do a quick recap and shut it down. Get this baby in under an hour. Again, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry we can't stream today. We'll be back Friday morning, 10 a.m. And while you're here, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the stream or the show, hit that thumbs up button, and then leave us a comment as well. Utah 13.5 against Colorado, total 50. Steak, this is my obvious bounce back spot. That does not bounce back. I like Colorado here.
Okay, I like Utah, but I'm always liking Utah, so no one's going to be surprised to hear that.
Right. You are always liking Utah, and that's fine. I liked what I saw from Colorado when I watched them against Iowa State. And Coach Prime was coaching loose. These guys are playing loose. And I don't know, man. I just think they could. I don't think they're going to roll over here. I think they're going to play Utah pretty tough, and Utah might not expect it. They think they just be able to show up and cover. I don't think it's going to be easy. I do think they get the win, but I like Colorado to cover.
Yeah.
All right, let's run it back. Let's pull up the board, and we'll pull up Pickett. Don't forget, download Pickett, sync your wager. I'm sorry, sync your sports books, track your wagers. Okay. Saturday. Here we are. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. 5.5 Sooners. What do you think?
Really hope it's Ole Miss, but got nothing.
UCLA, Indiana. We both like Indiana, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right. SMU, Wake Forest, nothing.
Nothing.
I think it's I think it's Memphis.
I think it's Memphis. Oh, I love Memphis. That'll be the first bet I place this week.
I liked Kansas State, but you're telling me it's a duping, and I think you're right. You like Kansas, don't you?
No, I like the under.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to put words in your mouth. Virginia on the road against North Carolina. I think that line's a little short. Not going to get involved. Do you?
I'm not going to get involved either, but I'd take Virginia if I had a choice.
Northwestern and Nebraska. I think it's Nebraska. I'm going to need a get back guy on that one because I think it's the Huskers.
If you say that in front of a live chat, you will have plenty of get back guys. I guarantee that. It's Nebraska or nothing, though.
Very true. Rutgers, Purdue. You like the over?
Yep.
Auburn, Arkansas.
I will not be betting Arkansas as a favorite ever.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Auburn. UConn and Rice. Fuck it, give me Rice. Give me Rice. Give me Rice 10.5. I got UConn an upset alert. By the way, how about that Utah Jazz call last night?
Yeah, how about Walter Clayton? A nice little game from my boy Walter Clayton.
I love to see it. We love to see it. BYU and Iowa State. Everyone's going to be on Iowa State. It's going to be the fake, or not the fake. Sorry, it's going to be the Twitter POD. But you think it's going to cash?
Kind of.
Yeah, I agree. Alabama and South Carolina. I got nothing. How about you?
Line's short as fuck, and I believe that the game will be tied at some point in the fourth quarter.
Okay, Missouri and Vanderbilt. I'm sorry, Diego Pavia. I respect you, but I got to do it with Missouri.
I might have to as well.
Okay, might be a newsletter play. Illinois and Washington. I think that spread is insane, and a lot of respect for Washington. It might just be the Huskies.
Got nothing.
Okay. You liked. Oh, did I pass the Toledo game? Because you had a read on Toledo, and that was pretty good. Here it is. Washington State. You like Toledo?
I like Toledo. Yep.
Yep. NC State, Pittsburgh. You said keep an eye on the Pittsburgh quarterback. Minnesota, Iowa. I think it's got to be Iowa.
Me too.
What else we got? Baylor and Cincinnati. I think I lean Baylor.
No, thank you.
Okay, fair enough. Texas, Mississippi State. Nothing.
Nope.
Okay. TCU, West Virginia, nothing. Wisconsin, Oregon, nothing. Miami, Stanford. We're gonna play Miami in some way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna do some kind of alt under on Stanford and
Love it.
Minnesota.
Love it. By the way, our best bets will be out in the newsletter tomorrow morning. Make sure you subscribe to it. TheDegenerateWeekly.com. Texas A&M on the road against LSU. You like the Aggies?
I'm gonna square up and go with the Aggies. I think the Aggies are different this year.
Michigan State. I think that's a Michigan line.
I'll pass.
That's a lot of points for Michigan to be laying on the road. They have done nothing to prove they should be 2 touchdown favorites against fucking anybody. That tells me Michigan State is dead. Tennessee and Kentucky State. Tennessee 7.5, 8 on the road.
Nah, I think sleepy spot for Tennessee, but I'm not sure I'm going to get there with Kentucky.
Houston, Arizona. I like Houston.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I like the under.
All right. And I like the Buffs late night in Utah.
Totally fine.
All right. Awesome. Guys, thank you for hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Steak, have a great day. Everybody, good luck on your wagers. Peace.